Dr. Evelyn Frost's eyes widened as she stared at her monitor. "Impossible!" she exclaimed, her voice echoing through the empty observatory. The signal she'd been tracking for months had suddenly intensified, defying all known laws of physics. "Kaz, get in here now," she shouted. Dr. Kazuki Tanaka burst through the door. "What is it, Evelyn?" "It's 3 a.m., for crying out dash." "Look," Evelyn pointed at the screen, her hand shaking. Kaz's jaw dropped. "The energy readings, they're off the charts." "I know. This is real, Kaz. We're witnessing something extraordinary." As they called director Nyara Okafor, neither could have imagined the true scale of what they had set in motion. Thousands of light years away, on the planet Xylox, Grand Archon Zixera jolted upright in her meditation chamber. "What in the name of the 7 moons?" Her assistant Vril materialized. "Grand Archon, our sensors have detected an anomalous energy spike in the prohibited zone." A holographic display showed a familiar spiral galaxy. At its edge, a tiny blue dot pulsed with impossible intensity. "By the cosmic architect, Zixera Wisparat. It's coming from Earth." As alarms blared throughout the Xyloxian capital, Zixera gazed at the stars. The humans, long dismissed as insignificant, had stumbled upon something that could shake the foundations of galactic society. Back on Earth, Director Okafor arrived at the observatory. Her irritation vanished as she saw the data. "My God," she breathed. "This changes everything." As the team worked feverishly to understand the anomaly, they were unaware that their actions were sending ripples across the cosmos, alerting ancient civilizations to the awakening of a slumbering giant. Humanity had taken its first unwitting step onto a much larger stage, and the galaxy was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. As dawn broke over the observatory, the world outside remained blissfully unaware of the cosmic upheaval unfolding within its walls. Dr. Evelyn Frost's fingers flew across her keyboard, her eyes darting between screens filled with cascading data. "This can't be right," she muttered, running the calculations for the 5th time. "Kaz, are you seeing this?" Dr. Kazuki Tanaka nodded, his face pale in the glow of the monitors. "It's like we've stumbled upon a key to the universe itself." Director Nyara Okafor paced behind them, her usual composure cracking under the weight of their discovery. "We need to understand what we're dealing with before we even think about going public. The implications." Her words were cut short by a sudden surge in the energy readings. The room plunged into darkness, emergency lights casting an eerie red glow over their faces. "What the dash?" Kaz started, but his exclamation was drowned out by a low, thrumming sound that seemed to emanate from the very air around them. Outside, the sky flickered with auroral lights, despite the morning sun. Car alarms blared in the parking lot, and in the distance, they could hear the wail of emergency sirens. "It's happening all over," Nyara said, her voice tight as she scrolled through alerts on her phone. "Power grids are fluctuating globally. We're getting reports of gravitational anomalies, weather pattern disruptions." Evelyn's eyes widened as a new set of data flooded her screen. "Director, look at this. The signal, it's not just energy. There's a pattern to it. Almost like a message," Kaz finished, his voice barely above a whisper. As they watched in awe, symbols began to form on their screens. Complex, alien, yet somehow familiar. "My God," Nyara breathed. "We need to call in every cryptographer, linguist, and mathematician we can trust. This is Dash." Her words were cut off as the ground beneath them shuddered. Outside, a pillar of light shot into the sky, piercing the clouds and stretching beyond the atmosphere. "It's beautiful," Evelyn murmured, transfixed by the spectacle. "And terrifying," Kaz added, his hand finding hers in the dim light. Nyara's phone buzzed incessantly. "The president, the UN, everyone's demanding answers. What do I tell them?" Evelyn tore her gaze from the window, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and excitement. Tell them that everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe just changed. Our primitive technology, it wasn't primitive at all. It was a key, and we've just unlocked something beyond our wildest dreams." As if in response to her words, The symbols on their screens began to shift and coalesce, forming patterns that tugged at the edges of their comprehension. "I think," Kes said slowly, "it's trying to teach us something." In orbit above Earth, undetected by human instruments, a cloaked Xyloxian observation post crackled with activity. The crew, long accustomed to the monotony of monitoring a quarantined world, now found themselves at the center of a galactic firestorm. "Send everything we have to the Conclave," the commander ordered, his exoskeleton quivering with a mixture of fear and excitement. "The humans, they've done the impossible." As the data streamed across subspace, carrying with it the first tremors of a cosmic revolution, Earth continued its serene dance around the sun. Its inhabitants, save for a handful of scientists in a nondescript observatory, remained unaware that their world now stood at the threshold of a new era. The cosmic stage was set. Humanity's hidden potential was awakening. And the universe, vast and ancient, leaned in closer, waiting to see what this young species would do next. In the heart of the Milky Way, aboard the massive structure known as the Nexus, Grand Archon Zixera faced the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds. The chamber, usually a model of decorum and measured debate, now thrummed with tension and barely contained panic. "Order! I demand order!" Zixera's voice boomed, amplified by both technology and sheer force of will. The cacophony died down, all eyes and various sensory organs turning to her. "Esteemed members of the Conclave," she began, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with stress. "We face an unprecedented situation. The quarantined world, Earth, has unlocked energies we barely comprehend. Our oldest laws demand non-interference, but laws be damned." The interruption came from Zor of the Silicon Collective, his crystalline form vibrating with indignation. "Those primitive apes are meddling with forces beyond their comprehension. We must act now before Before what, exactly?" This from Alara of the Lumina Consensus, her photonic form shimmering with barely contained emotion. "Before they surpass us? Before they shatter our carefully maintained illusion of superiority." The chamber erupted into chaos once more, accusations and demands flying thick and fast. Zixera's tendrils writhed in agitation as she fought to regain control. "Silence," she roared, her voice cutting through the din like a plasma blade. "We cannot allow fear to dictate our actions. We must approach this with wisdom and dash." Her words were cut short as the grand holographic display at the center of the chamber flickered and changed. The familiar galactic map was replaced by a swirling vortex of energy, centered on a small, blue planet. "By the void," Alara whispered, her voice carrying in the sudden hush. "It's beautiful. It's terrifying," Zor countered, but even his voice held a note of awe. Zixera stared at the display, her mind racing. In all her centuries of leadership, she had never faced a challenge like this. The humans, those curious, chaotic, brilliant creatures, had done in decades what had taken other races millennia. How? And more importantly, what did it mean for the future of the galaxy? As the Conclave watched in stunned silence, tendrils of energy began to reach out from Earth, stretching across the stars like the first tentative steps of a newborn cosmic entity. Grand Archon, her assistant Vril, materialized beside her, his usual calm demeanor shaken. "We're receiving reports from across the galaxy. Gravitational anomalies, subspace disturbances, some of our oldest artifacts are activating." Zixera's gaze snapped to him, her bioluminescence flaring with sudden realization. "The precursor relics? All of them?" Vril nodded, his exoskeleton rattling with nervous energy. "It's as if the humans have found some kind of universal key." The implications hit Zixera like a supernova. The precursors, that ancient, mysterious race that had shaped the galaxy eons ago, had left behind fragments of their hyper-advanced technology. For millennia, the Conclave had studied these relics, unlocking only the barest fraction of their potential. "And now, we've been blind," she murmured, more to herself than to the assembled representatives. "All this time, we thought we were the pinnacle of galactic civilization, but we were just Caretakers. She turned to face the conclave, her voice ringing with newfound purpose. Esteemed colleagues, we stand at a crossroads. The humans have unlocked something fundamental about our universe, something we've overlooked for eons. We have a choice to make. Do we cling to our old ways, our fears, our prejudices? Or do we embrace this new reality and all it promises? The chamber was silent, the weight of the moment pressing down on all present. Zixera's gaze swept across the assembled representatives, seeing in their varied physiognomies the same mixture of fear and hope that she felt herself. I propose, she said, her voice steady, that we end the quarantine, that we reach out to humanity, not as superiors or conquerors, but as equals, as students. The uproar was immediate and deafening. But as arguments raged and alliances shifted, Zixera's gaze returned to the swirling vortex of energy emanating from Earth. Whatever happened next, the galaxy would never be the same. And somewhere, in the vast tapestry of space and time, she could almost swear she heard the echoes of ancient laughter. The precursors, perhaps, delighting in the cosmic joke they had set in motion eons ago. The stage was set. The next move belonged to humanity. And the entire galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what this young, brilliant, terrifying species would do next. The United Nations General Assembly had never seen such chaos. Representatives from every nation on Earth shouted over one another, their faces contorted with a mixture of fear, excitement, and disbelief. At the podium, Dr. Evelyn Frost stood, her usual confidence shaken but not broken. Behind her, a massive screen displayed the swirling vortex of energy that now enveloped the Earth, visible from every corner of the globe. Please, she shouted, her voice barely carrying over the din, we must remain calm and united in the face of Dash. Her words were cut short as the entire building shuddered. The lights flickered, and for a moment, an eerie silence fell over the assembly. Then it happened. The air in the center of the chamber began to shimmer and distort. Gasps of shock turned to screams of terror as a figure began to materialize. Tall, alien, and unmistakably not of this world. Grand Archon Zixera stood before the assembled leaders of humanity, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with a mixture of trepidation and hope. People of Earth, her voice resonated, somehow understood by all present despite the alien nature of her speech. We come in peace and in AWE. The silence that followed was deafening. Evelyn, her scientific mind racing to process the impossible scene before her, was the first to step forward. Oh, what are you? Zixera's tendrils rippled in what might have been a smile. We are the Galactic Conclave, guardians of 1,000 worlds. And you, humanity, have just changed everything. As murmurs of disbelief rippled through the crowd, Kaz burst through the doors, his lab coat askew. Evelyn, the signal, it's evolving. It's, oh my God. He stopped short at the sight of Zixera, his mouth hanging open. Dr. Tanaka, Zixera said, turning to face him. Your work on quantum entanglement was illuminating. Kaz's eyes widened. You've been watching us? For millennia, Zixera confirmed. But never in all our observations did we imagine this. She gestured, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing the Milky Way galaxy. Earth, once a tiny, insignificant speck, now pulsed with energy that reached across vast distances. You've unlocked something we thought lost to time, Zixera continued. A power the precursors wielded eons ago. A power we've sought to understand for countless generations. Evelyn's mind raced. The precursors? You mean, we're not alone? We've never been alone. Zixera's bioluminescence flickered with what might have been amusement. Oh, Dr. Frost, you've been far from alone, but you've been quarantined. The word hung in the air, heavy with implication. But why? This from the UN Secretary General, finally finding his voice. Why keep us isolated? Fear, Zixera admitted. Fear of your potential, your brilliance, your unpredictability. As if on cue, alarms began to blare. Outside, The sky lit up with a dazzling display of cosmic energy. "It's happening again," Kaz shouted, his eyes glued to his tablet. "The signal is transforming." Evelyn turned to Zixera, her eyes blazing with a mixture of fear and excitement. "What's happening to our world? To us?" Zixera's tendrils writhed in agitation. "I don't know. In all our millennia of existence, we've never seen anything like this. Your primitive technology, as we foolishly labeled it, has tapped into something fundamental, something that's changing the very fabric of reality." As panic began to spread through the assembly, Evelyn made a decision. She strode to the podium, her voice ringing out with newfound authority. "People of Earth, representatives of the Galactic Conclave," she began, her words echoing across the chamber and, through the miracle of modern technology, to every corner of the globe. "We stand at a crossroads. Our world, our species, is changing in ways we can barely comprehend, but we must not give in to fear." She turned to Zixera. "You've watched us for millennia. You've seen our struggles, our triumphs, our relentless drive to understand the universe around us. Now we ask you, stand with us. Help us navigate this new reality." Zixera's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with emotion. "Dr. Frost, you must understand. The power you've unlocked, it could reshape the galaxy. It could destroy it." Evelyn's eyes blazed. "Or it could usher in an era of understanding and cooperation unlike anything the universe has ever seen. The choice is ours, all of ours to make." As if in response to her words, the cosmic display outside intensified. The very air seemed to hum with potential. Kaz's voice cut through the tension. "Evelyn, look at this. The signal, it's not just energy anymore. It's information, vast amounts of it. Like the universe itself is trying to communicate with us." Zixera's tendrils writhed in shock. "Impossible, unless the legends were true. The precursors, they didn't just vanish. They ascended." The implications hung in the air, heavy with possibility and danger. Evelyn turned back to the assembly, her voice steady despite the cosmic drama unfolding around them. "We have a choice to make. Do we cower in fear of the unknown? Or do we reach out and grasp the future with both hands?" As humanity stood on the brink of a new era, the galaxy watched and waited. The cosmic stage was set for the next act in this grand, terrifying, exhilarating drama. And somewhere, in the vast tapestry of space and time, the echoes of ancient laughter grew louder. The Precursor's grand plan, set in motion eons ago, was finally coming to fruition. Humanity's primitive technology had unlocked the doors to the cosmos. Now it was up to them to step through and face whatever lay beyond. The weeks following first contact were a whirlwind of activity that transformed the face of human civilization. As the cosmic energy continued to pulse around Earth, humanity found itself in the midst of a technological renaissance unlike anything in recorded history. Dr. Evelyn Frost stood in the newly established Galactic Exchange Center, her eyes darting between holographic displays, showing breakthrough after breakthrough. Beside her, Kaz furiously typed on a quantum-enabled tablet, his fingers barely keeping up with the flood of ideas pouring from his mind. "It's incredible," he exclaimed, his voice a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. "The way the precursor information is interfacing with our existing tech. It's like we've been handed the keys to the universe." Evelyn nodded, her own excitement tempered by the weight of responsibility. "But with great power comes great dash." "Don't you dare finish that sentence," Kaz interrupted with a grin. "We've got enough to worry about without quoting superhero movies." Their banter was interrupted by the arrival of Grand Archon Zixera, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with what they had learned to recognize as deep concern. "Dr. Frost, Dr. Tanaka," she greeted them, her alien features still a source of wonder despite weeks of interaction. "We have a situation." Evelyn's heart sank. "What now? Please tell me we haven't accidentally created a black hole or something." Zixera's tendrils writhed in what might have been amusement. "Nothing so dramatic, but concerning nonetheless. Your rapid technological advancement is causing ripples across the galaxy." She gestured, and a new holographic display sprang to life, showing the Milky Way. Waves of energy pulsed outward from Earth, touching distant stars and systems. Many worlds are reporting sudden leaps in their own technological capabilities, Zixera explained. It's as if your breakthroughs are resonating across space-time itself. Kaz's eyes widened. That's amazing. Think of the possibilities for galactic cooperation, for sharing knowledge across Dash. It's also terrifying. Evelyn cut in, her scientific mind racing ahead to the implications. If our advancements are affecting other worlds, what about those who might use that knowledge for less than peaceful purposes? Zixera's bioluminescence dimmed. Precisely our concern. The Galactic Conclave is divided on how to proceed. Some see this as the dawn of a new era of unity and progress. Others, let me guess, Evelyn sighed. They want to shut us down, put the genie back in the bottle. If only it were that simple, Zixera replied. The energy you've unleashed, it cannot be contained. It can only be guided. Or, the unspoken alternative hung heavy in the air. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Kaz's tablet erupted with notifications, his face paling as he read them. Oh no, he whispered. No. What is it? Evelyn demanded, her heart racing. Kaz looked up, his eyes wide with fear. Remember that theoretical weapon we discussed? The one that could potentially disrupt the fabric of space-time itself. Evelyn nodded, a chill running down her spine. Someone just built a prototype, Kaz said, his voice barely above a whisper. And it's not us. The implications hit them like a physical blow. In unlocking the secrets of the universe, they had inadvertently handed incredibly dangerous knowledge to potentially hostile forces. Zixera's tendrils writhed in agitation. This is exactly what the Conclave feared. Your species' rapid advancement, inspiring and terrifying as it is, has upset the delicate balance we've maintained for eons. Evelyn's mind raced, seeking solutions. We need to act fast. Kaz, contact every lab, every research facility. We need to pool our resources, find a way to counteract this weapon before Dash. Her words were cut short as the ground beneath them shuddered. Outside, the sky flickered with an unnatural light. Too late, Kaz whispered, his eyes glued to his tablet. They've activated it. Somewhere in the Orion arm, a star just winked out of existence. The horror of the moment was palpable. In unlocking the secrets of the cosmos, humanity had inadvertently unleashed forces that could reshape or destroy the very fabric of reality. Zixera turned to them, her alien features set in grim determination. Dr. Frost, Dr. Tanaka, the fate of not just your world, but countless others, now rests in your hands. Your primitive technology unlocked this power. Now, you must find a way to control it. As alarms blared and the sky above rippled with cosmic energy, Evelyn and Kaz shared a look of determination. They had started this journey with a simple anomaly, a curious signal that defied explanation. Now, they stood at the precipice of either galactic annihilation or a new era of cosmic harmony. Well, Evelyn said, a wry smile playing at her lips despite the gravity of the situation. I guess it's time to save the universe. Kaz nodded, his fingers already flying over his tablet. Just another day at the office, right? As they plunged into their work, the fate of countless worlds hanging in the balance, the cosmic drama continued to unfold. Humanity's great technological leap had reshaped the galaxy. Now, it was up to them to ensure that this new era dawned with hope, not cataclysm. The universe watched and waited, holding its breath as the next chapter in this grand cosmic story began to unfold. The Galactic Exchange Center hummed with frenetic energy as beings from 1,000 worlds worked side by side, united by a common purpose: to save the universe from tearing itself apart. Dr. Evelyn Frost stood at the heart of it all, her eyes blazing with determination as she coordinated efforts across multiple dimensions of space and time. Beside her, Dr. Kazuki Tanaka's fingers danced across holographic interfaces, weaving complex algorithms that bridged the gap between human intuition and cosmic wisdom. We're running out of time, Kaz shouted over the din of alarms and urgent communications. The space-time disruptions are spreading faster than we can contain them. Evelyn nodded grimly, her mind racing. We need to think bigger. We're not just patching holes anymore. We need to rewrite the rules of reality itself. Grand Archon Zixera materialized beside them, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with a mixture of fear and hope. The Conclave has granted you full access to our entire repository of knowledge. Use it wisely, for the fate of all creation hangs in the balance. As torrents of information flooded their systems, Evelyn's eyes widened with sudden realization. Wait! Kaz, look at this pattern in the precursor data. It's not just information, it's a key. Kaz's fingers flew across the interface, his expression shifting from confusion to awe. My God, you're right. It's a cosmic failsafe. The precursors. They must have anticipated something like this. Or caused it, Zixera interjected, her tendrils writhing with excitement. Perhaps this was their plan all along. To seed the galaxy with the potential for both creation and destruction, waiting for a species with the right balance of wisdom and recklessness to unlock it. Evelyn's mind raced with the implications. So all of this, our primitive technology, the signal, the sudden leaps in advancement, it was all leading to this moment. A cosmic test, Kaz breathed, his eyes shining with understanding. And we're the ones taking it. As if in response to their realization, the very air around them began to shimmer and pulse with otherworldly energy. The boundaries between dimensions blurred, and for a moment, they could perceive the vast tapestry of the multiverse itself. Look! Zixera exclaimed, her alien features contorted in wonder. The precursors, they're here. Ghostly forms materialized around them. Beings of pure energy and thought, their existence spanning multiple realities at once. Their voices, more felt than heard, resonated through the minds of all present. You have reached the crossroads, the precursors intoned, their words echoing across space and time. The power to shape reality is yours. Will you use it wisely? Evelyn stepped forward, her voice steady despite the cosmic forces swirling around her. We've made mistakes. We've stumbled and fallen. But we've also dreamed and reached and dared. Humanity may be young, but we're ready to take our place among the stars. Kaz joined her, his hand finding hers in a gesture of unity. We don't claim to have all the answers, but we're willing to learn, to grow, to face the unknown with courage and curiosity. The precursor's energy pulsed with what might have been approval. Then take the key, children of Earth. Rewrite the cosmic code. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. As one, Evelyn and Kaz reached out, their fingers intertwining with streams of pure cosmic energy. Knowledge flooded their minds, the secrets of creation, the fundamental laws of reality itself. With trembling hands but unwavering resolve, they began to weave a new pattern into the fabric of the universe. Waves of energy rippled outward from Earth, touching every star, every planet, every particle of existence. The space-time disruptions began to stabilize. Wounds in reality knitted themselves closed, and across the galaxy, beings of all kinds looked up in wonder as the sky above them shimmered with newfound harmony. As the cosmic restructuring neared completion, Evelyn turned to Kaz, tears of joy and exhaustion streaming down her face. We did it! We actually did it! Kaz grinned, his own eyes shining with emotion. Not bad for a couple of primitive humans, huh? Zixera approached them, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with deep respect. You have done more than save the galaxy, my friends. You have ushered in a new era of cosmic cooperation and understanding. As the last tendrils of energy settled into place, the precursor's presence began to fade. But their final message resonated through the hearts and minds of all. The test is passed. The torch is passed. The future is yours to shape. In the days, years, and centuries that followed, humanity took its place as a guiding force in galactic affairs. The Earth, once a tiny blue marble in a vast cosmic ocean, became a beacon of hope and innovation. The technology that had once seemed primitive now served as the foundation for wonders beyond imagination. Interstellar travel became commonplace. New dimensions were explored, and the boundaries between thought and reality blurred in exciting new ways. But through it all, humanity never forgot the lessons learned in those crucial moments. They carried with them the wisdom of the precursors, the friendship of beings like Zixera, and the knowledge that even the smallest, most unassuming world could hold the key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of the cosmos. As Evelyn and Kaz stood on the observation deck of humanity's first intergalactic exploration vessel, ready to journey beyond the boundaries of the Milky Way, they shared a quiet moment of reflection. "You know," Evelyn mused, her eyes twinkling with the light of distant galaxies, "I never thought our primitive signal detector would lead us here." Kaz chuckled, squeezing her hand. "Just goes to show, in science and in life, you should never underestimate the power of curiosity." As the ship's engines hummed to life, preparing to carry them into the unknown, they knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's cosmic legacy was still being written, one discovery, one connection, one leap of faith at a time. And somewhere, in the vast tapestry of space and time, the precursors smiled, knowing that their greatest creation, the spark of curiosity and courage in the heart of every sentient being, would continue to light the way forward, illuminating the darkness between the stars for eons to come.